I'm Camille Taylor, Head of Corporate Communications at the Caribbean Development Bank, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this historic event. Today marks a significant milestone for CDB, the launch of our first online community engagement course through the Basic Needs Trust Fund. Now, this is more than just a course launch. It's a statement of intent, a commitment to innovation, and a bold step towards equipping those who work closest to our communities with the tools they need to create real, lasting change. Now, at CDB, we believe that strong, resilient communities are the foundation of sustainable development. This course embodies our heightened focus on action and innovation. It reflects our commitment to solving problems, not just effectively, but creatively. So community engagement is about people, conversations in village squares, understanding local knowledge, earning trust, and ensuring that every voice has a seat at the table. Mr. Richardo Aiken, Community Development Specialist at CDB, lives this work every day with his hands-on grassroots approach. He'll walk us through what makes this course special.
The course has 5 modules. There's also a resource section with further reading and useful resources. There's also a bit of reflection exercises, and these exercises will allow you to apply the module you learned to your own real-life context. And there's also knowledge check questions to help you check your learning throughout your interaction with the module. And at the end, a quiz to help you assess your learning. So these are the 5 modules, but I'll just jump quickly to each of them. The first module looks at community engagement in context, focusing mainly on defining what is community engagement, the values and principles and the benefits of such, and what is effective community engagement with consistent emphasis on the project life cycle. Module 2 looks at preparing for community engagement, and this will help you to prepare for your community engagement interventions, looking at the power and voice in community engagement, the bias and ethics in community engagement as a part of the preparatory process. Module 3, this focuses on the skills and methods for effective community engagement. What do you do before, during, and after the community engagement process itself, and also looking at key consideration as facilitators and what are some of the guidance around the facilitation process. Module 4, and this looks at tools to facilitate community engagement. And we're looking at the continuum borrowed from the International Agency for Public Participation, the spectrum of public participation, looking at how do we move from information sharing to empowerment, and those between consulting with communities, involving them, reaching to a level of collaboration where these exercises are mutually beneficial and in the end, an empowered community. Module 5, and this module looks at engaging indigenous and tribal communities across the Caribbean, and this looks at the who and why, the principles of engagement, and this was developed from a research commissioned by the Caribbean Development Bank and the University of the West Indies, and that led us to developing, in consultation with indigenous leaders across the region, a list of protocols of engagement defined in consultation with them.
We know great courses do not happen by accident. The University of Wolverhampton's Center for International Development and Training, or CIDT, has been instrumental in devising an accessible, interactive learning experience that we believe will have transformative impact on community engagement across the Caribbean. Ms. Daniela Bauer, consultant with the CIDT, will share insights into the development process and the thoughtful approach that makes this course both rigorous and practical.
It was a joy to create. Our passionate team worked hand in hand with the CDB team under their excellent leadership and collaboration to make it truly relevant and engaging. CDB emphasized 2 key design principles, and we heard them from Richardo earlier. The course must be grounded in the Caribbean context, and it must be responsive to the needs of practitioners. To achieve this, we opted for a design feature of friendly virtual hosts who guide learners and practitioners through the programme and root the experience firmly in the Caribbean region. Equally important was our commitment to walk the talk of community engagement. Together with CDB, we facilitated a participatory co-design process, engaging over 90 practitioners across the region, from community leaders and project managers to civil society representatives, corporate social responsibility teams, tourism experts, and Indigenous and tribal leaders. Their insights and lived experiences shaped the course content, case studies, and overall design. Partnerships like ours remind us that education is not only about knowledge and skills, but it's about connection, not only about advancement, but about shared humanity. So on behalf of CIDT and the university, we are proud to be part of that journey.
We will hear from someone who does community development work and outreach every day. He is on the front line, Mr. Omar Wright, who leads the Environmental and Community Development Program at the Jamaica National Foundation.
Now, when I first engaged with the course during the validation process, I was immensely struck by how thoughtful and inclusive the design was. It reflected not just the solid understanding of community development theory, but also the lived realities of us practitioners who are on the ground doing the work every day to ensure that where the intersection of culture, trust, and participation lies, that the voices of communities and the members in those communities are represented. It doesn't simply teach tools or frameworks. It calls us to a higher mindset, one that moves us from doing for communities to doing with them. It underscores the participation of the community members, and it sees it as not only ticking a box, but putting us on a pathway to trust, accountability, and impactful projects. So today I want to commend the Caribbean Development Bank's Basic Needs Trust Fund for this investment, not just in the professional development of us practitioners working in the space, but for strengthening the very heart of the development process. And that is putting the people that we serve at the center. You are equipping us practitioners to build stronger relationships, deeper trust, and resilient communities through the projects we design, develop, and execute.
And let's pause now and remember the why behind all of this. Why we serve, why we care, why community engagement matters. Miss Catherine Dorset from Montserrat captures all the reasons why in her original poem entitled CDB and Community Engagement. Her words remind us that behind every initiative, there are real people with real dreams for their communities, and that's what really matters. Catherine, please share your poem with us.
The Caribbean calls with one great voice for development to be the people's choice. A focus clear, a plan in place for peace, for growth, for equal space. A place for women, men and child, where dreams are free and hearts run wild.
So Dr. Martin Baptiste is CDB's division chief for the social sector. He'll place this course within CDB's broader social development agenda and show us how local interventions create ripples that can transform this region.
The lessons learned over these years have affirmed a fundamental truth that sustainable development cannot be achieved without the meaningful involvement of the very people it is intended to benefit. As we know, communities are not just merely recipients of development efforts. They are key architects, stewards, and evaluators of change. When they help define priorities, share local knowledge, and participate in decision-making, we know that development becomes more effective, equitable, and sustainable.
We do want to hear about the experience from the perspective of the Indigenous and tribal peoples and how this course will reach out to them specifically. Dr. Goff, the floor is yours.
The history of community engagement in this part of the world has not been one that has been very inclusive historically. And so this course for us represents a paradigm shift, a shift in terms of how communities want to be seen and want to be engaged, and how the community protocols that are put forth and included in the course can play a central role in building strong partnerships with communities, with civil society, with governments in the region, of course, geared and focused towards empowering our Indigenous and tribal and local communities.
As you access this course, engage with the modules, and apply these tools in your work, remember Catherine's beautiful words. From islands bright to every shore, a future open to explore, where citizens with knowledge bright shape communities with brilliant light. That future starts now. That light starts with you. Thank you. Go forth and engage brilliantly.